So Moondrop is back with the Kadenz and they're in big trouble. I know it's pronounced Kadenz. Sound-wise, it's good. There's nothing jarring with it. The timbre is natural. The Kadenz follows a clean, balanced, and inoffensive tuning like their other stuff with a more laid-back presentation, but with a slight focus on the vocals. It doesn't overboost the low end or highlight the treble, and it doesn't pop out in any specific region because it follows, again, a balanced sound signature. Low-end-wise, the texture is average. Don't expect any like crazy slam, tactility, or reverb, but there's no mid-bass bleed, there's no bloat, there's no congestion, and it's going to be on the tamer side. Although it's not lean or thin sounding, it's still fairly natural, and the attack and the decay is pretty quick. The note weight isn't too floaty, it's not too husky, and the vocals are slightly forward, but they do lack a little bit of air and like that openness feeling to the end extension because there is a scoop near the end of the upper mids, but it's not a deal breaker because they still sound natural, balanced. When it comes to the technical performance, the Kadenz is fine. It's what you would expect at $100. It's a little bit disappointing at $200 after tax. It's noticeably behind the Quintet, the SUPERMIX4, the Nova, the Chopin, and realistically, the Kadenz sits at around the EW300, the Chino, the Hexa level, and in my opinion, it should not cost more than $100 in a vacuum. So if you just gave the Kadenz to a random person on the street, they're most likely going to enjoy it because it sounds nice, but it just doesn't hold up in the current market. 2024 Sci-Fi is just really relentless. Because for starters, if you want that clean and balanced sound, the TANGZU XUAN NV is literally that, but it's like 2 to 3 times cheaper, and it's often on sale for around like $60. They basically have the same tonality and very similar when it comes to the tech, the resolution, with the difference more or less being down to like unit variance. If you get like more treble on one or like more bass on the other, stuff like that. Personally, I like the XUAN NV more because my unit at least has a little bit more air, it has more extension, which does make the vocals feel a little bit more open and less like, a little bit more spacious, and the fit is better for me on the XUAN NV as well. It's just a little bit more comfortable, it's lighter. So then what are you paying $100 more for on the Kadenz over the XUAN NV? It's the presentation. Even though sound-wise they are very similar, the design, the build quality, like the cable, the unboxing experience, and the case is just miles better on the Kadenz. And if you're looking for like an overall experience, I can see why you would pay a little bit more for this, although I don't think it's worth paying $100 more. It is your money, do what you want with it. And speaking of build quality, the nozzles don't really change the sound. Yeah, it's just kind of there if you want to like change the size of the fit, like how deep it is. But basically you are paying for the cosmetics when you choose the Kadenz over anything in this price range really, which again, it's fine, but just don't go in expecting to get $200 worth of sound because you're gonna walk out with half of it and the other half is gonna be the waifu. Because if you want the most bang for your buck, like detail and resolution wise, layering, separation, stuff like that, you're better off with getting the SUPERMIX4, the Nova, Chopin, Quintet. Those are all better like technically, especially the SUPERMIX4 and the Nova. They're just like much cheaper. You can get them for $50 like less, and they have better treble detail, the layering, separation, and in my opinion, like they just work better as an all-rounder, and they are the better value in general. Because if you're going to trade off technical performance, which is what the Kadenz is doing, then you need a unique sound to justify the extra pricing, like the CKLVX, the Magic One, the Explorer, because without it, you don't really have anything to justify the upcharge sound-wise, aside from maybe like design, build quality, and unboxing. It also doesn't help that the EW300 and the LM are both under $100, and value-wise they make the Kadenz look really bad. Now the LM is a hit or miss depending on the unit you get. Mine was pretty good, but some are just too bright. So if you do get a good unit, it's just a better version of the Kadenz in my opinion. It's more engaging but still well balanced. My unit at least, right? The LM is more like resolving, it's sharper in the imaging, better bass texture, it's also 2 times cheaper, right? It's just a more musical set while being more resolving at the same time. The EW300 on the other hand is similar as the LM sound-wise, but just not as resolving, slightly behind, but without the unit variance. The bass on the EW300 is punchier and it hits harder than the Kadenz. It's better extended in the treble, there's more air without being like overly sharp. Overall, it's just more engaging, but still like similarly competent when it comes to the technical performance, and more people overall is gonna enjoy more as an all-rounder because it does have a fuller sound. It's funner, I guess. It has a little more air, it has a little bit more bass, especially given that you can't get the EW300 for around like $60 to $65 on sale, almost like 3 times less than than the Kadenz, right? So very tough competition from both sides. And you also have the Origin, which is just the Kadenz but with like more air and detail. If you want a neutral monitor like sound, the Origin would be the better pick with great accessories and build quality on top. Now I still think the Origin is slightly pricey at retail, but if you're like already thinking of paying almost $200 for the Kadenz, then you might as well just save up and get the Origin, which is basically the direct upgrade to the Kadenz if you want that clean and balanced sound signature. Although I will say I do like the Kadenz better than the KATO and the Aria 2, but those are very low bars to clear. You know, compared to the outdated KATO, the Kadenz is a more refined version of the KATO. They both sound pretty similar, but the Kadenz is smoother and less sharp while keeping up the details and resolution. There's also a little more clarity and power to the vocals on the Kadenz. It's more vocal focused than the KATO. You know, my unit at least, it's airier in the treble. It feels more spacious, but just not as refined and a little bit sharper and peakier than the Kadenz. So overall, I would still take the Kadenz over the KATOs because I do prioritize vocals, but it's kind of close, which is not a good thing given how old and outdated the KATO is. And then versus the Aria 2, the Kadenz is a small improvement when it comes to the vocal clarity and the overall resolution in the treble. The Aria 2 feels softer in its transients and not as quote unquote, you know, detailed, which is more or less, you know, expected given the price difference. And again, sound wise, all three follows a balanced and clean sound signature you can expect from Moondrop, or you know, the Moondrop house sound. So although it is better than both the KATO and the Aria 2, I still would not recommend the Kadenz, because if you want that clean and balanced sound, either just save up for the Origin or just grab the Xuan again for 3 times less on sale. And then if you want a better all-rounder with better dynamics, a little more engaging, then the EW300 would be better, or the, you know, 3.5mm version. Or if you want something warmer, you got the EM6L, the Magic 1, and then tech-wise, of course, you got the SUPERMIX4 NOVA Chopin Quintet, stuff like that. And then all the unique sets, CKLVX, Explorer, Chino, and etc. So unless you are a Moondrop collector, it's not gonna be very worth it for most people. It's gonna be a hard pass for like the vast majority of you guys watching. So just watch out for the hype. It does look very nice, but I don't think the accessories and like the box and the waifus is enough to really justify the pricing in 2024 at least. Anyhow, I hope this review was helpful. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see everyone in the next one. Shout out to Roark's Cat, Dom Q, Star Buccaneers, Discall Scaldus, B_Urac, Mystic Spoon Attack, Oh Really, Walker Standard, User, Ernest, Patrick, Bellcell Kel, Polly J, Mr. Gorillas, Anton Risto, Giseng Yan, and Dunlap, Christopher Jackson, Nate, Henry Claudia, Son of a Horse, 777ZK, Ben Thompson, Asher, Obi, iComment87, Contain Guava Juice Gains, Triple Well Extended, Wizard, Yan Frickalicious, Luigi, Bakasuka, and Ricardo. Thank you guys so much.